Howdy kids, I'm Kyle.
I'm Tristan.
And do you love the Burgundy wine?
I love the Burgundy wine.
I love the Burgundy wine.
Yeah.
Now,
So
do you love the Burgundy wine prices?
not so much.
Do you love paying $120 for something and go like, yeah, that was good?
I know I don't.
No.
I know I really don't like the 120 wines.
Yeah. So the deal is, we hate that. And accordingly, when we go out and source stuff for you guys, we do not want to put our customers in that pickle. We don't want you having that moment where you go, oh yeah, Best Wine told me that. It was so what we do is when we source our Burgundies directly from France, which a lot of our sourcing is direct, we look for groovy opportunities like this to come along, and this is a very special opportunity that Tris bumped into on his last road trip over there, and you hooked up with somebody that was a broker for these ones?
Yeah. I hooked up with a broker for these guys, and essentially, like with Bordeaux, I mean, I like wines that have a little bit of age on them. It's just when they start to find themselves, come together, become silky. It just, it's always something that I look for. And what's really great about when you go over there, you can find some things that are in the cellars of, certain producers where they've had the wines there the whole time. So, Yvon Clerget, great producer, based in the Volnay, Pommard area, which wines I absolutely adore. And so the broker came to me and said, hey, I have some 2001 Clergets. Are you interested? I'm like, yeah. So, but the funny thing is that when I saw the prices, I fell out of my chair. I was shocked.
Well, you're thinking, is that 6 packs or 12 packs?
Yeah.
One of those questions you have to ask when you see the price list.
And the thing is that these are actually priced less than the current offering 2009s.
Nice, yeah. Now, and take a look at the bottles. The bottles are super clean. These come direct from the cellars of Yvon Clerget. They label them up and capsule them up as we literally order them. So these are those, you ever see in the pictures, those nice old crusty piles of bottles and in the stacks, or actually this time, these are probably in nice little metal bins, to be quite honest. Maybe not so romantic as the crusty old cellar cuvées, although some of these cats do that.
Yeah.
These are probably just a nice, clean metal racks, and they're just waiting for us to go, that one. And that's exactly what we did with this series of 2001 wines from Yvon Clerget that we just got in, super fresh, direct from the domain. So what we're talking, what in our glass right now is a Bon Reversé. This is a Bon Premier Cru Les Reversé. It's a smaller vineyard. Huh? It's a vineyard that we don't see a lot on the label. Actually, this is the only time I've seen Reversé on a Premier Cru Bon label. I think he probably owns a nice chunk of it, and it's small, so not too many other people utilize it. The other people that own chunks, maybe they put it into a blended Bon Premier Cru bottling or some such. Maybe Jadot has a piece or whatever the hell, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the only time I've ever seen it on a label, and wow, I'm impressed. These, we decanted this about 10, 15 minutes ago, but you know what, it almost didn't need it. This one came out of the gate just popping. It's got that roundness. The round, warm cherry. Now it's a warm, mature cherry, huh? Kind of like that, kind of like cherry and fine mahogany. That kind of type deal, right?
Yeah.
Where
everything is very well integrated in this wine, and this is and actually we've had a couple other ones previously. In fact we drank the Kyrie last night because we were kind of curious, and as time went on, the wine it was like a flower, just started to develop, and all these exotic flavors and whatnot. And the Reversés is actually so impressive as well.
These 01s, I think they would call it a useful vintage in Burgundy. And it was coming, 2002 was in the pipeline, so a lot of people weren't giving a lot of 2001 a lot of run because, everyone was waiting for the 2002s to hit. But in fact, what we're seeing with 2001 in Burgundy, just like we've seen in Bordeaux, is these wines are surprising. And they're shocking at how generous and round and supple yet fresh they are. They're kind of almost kind of 85-ish, like in Bordeaux or something like that. But where the wines, you never gave them their due. You know, you're oh, it's always going to be, oh, yes, and then 10 years later you drink one, you're like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
it's still, wow, hey. And it's less bony. The wines are less bony than 96, less bony than, you know, some of these other vintages that were great vintages. Just beautiful, round, accessible, fresh.
Well, the talk of one now is that it was a great vintage. The other thing that a lot of people say in Burgundy is that these wines are so very youthful. In fact, the agent that I deal with, her name is Marie. She's a very good palate. She's like, 2001s are just not ready to, almost not ready to drink yet. Well, we're finding a little bit different now because this wine is tasting really good.
Yeah,
but I can see where they're coming from. There's a lot of
right.
structure in this wine. This wine will age for another 10 years easily.
Well, you know, in Burgundy, they do make their wines to age. You know, California Pinot Noirs are built like, you know, look at me, drink me now, jazz hands, and which is fine. It's cool. It's always sunny. The wines are ripe. They're warm. They're generous, and that is cool, right? There's nothing wrong with doing what you do.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with the sun always shining. However, in Burgundy, it's a little different spin on Pinot Noir. These Pinot Noirs are built to cellar, and in fact, what the Clerget has done is taken these domain bottled wines, cellared them 10, 12 years for us, and then basically charged us less than what the current release is.
Yeah.
So if you think, if the math makes sense, no, it doesn't. But the deal is, it doesn't make sense in your favor, right?
Exactly.
So, and actually, there's basically 3 cuvées that we're pimping from Yvon Clerget that are just all, we've tried all 3 of them, they're all fantastic. There's a Volnay Santino as well, right? Which is, that's the vineyard that Dominique Lafon brought to fame, right? This was the, Santino was kind of like the baggage wine and all the great parcels of Comte Lafon Merceaus, you know, that everyone had to buy. Oh, you got to take some red. And then, you know, 2 years later, everyone would open the bottle of Volnay Santino and go, oh my God, hey, can I get more of the red? No, sorry, you can't. And now the Volnay Santino from Lafon is, you know, selling for 150, 160 bucks a bottle, and it's a great wine in its own right. This is this is one of the other very few Santinos I've seen bottled from that vineyard. These are about 60, I think on average around 60, 65-year-old vines in this wine, and everything's not too much new oak, not too much. This guy is a straightforward, classic Burgundy vigneron. All small French barrels, a certain percentage new. Doesn't futz with the wine too much, you know, 1 year élevage, boom, in the bottle, and then it rests and waits for us to go, hey, can you send us that at like a lower price? And he goes, wait. So Santino, and then, oh yeah, there's Cellaring, which Cellaring is, you know, that's ubiquitous, I guess. You know, it's not a big vineyard, but everybody owns like a little piece of this not huge site. So everyone's got some Cellaring going, but you know it from Côte-d'Or, right? You know it from you know, some of the other really super uber duper popular guys at Volnay, Marquis d'Angeville, etc. All these guys own parcels of Cellaring. And Clerget's Cellaring also runs around 60, 65-year-old vines. That's old. And both of these wines are just absolute knockouts as well. We are completely in love with these wines. Now, let's talk, I'm interested in talking price.
Yeah.
Because usually what's happening now, like if you do like an 01 Côte-d'Or Cellaring, if you try to buy a 2002 Lafon Volnay Santino, I mean, we're looking at triple digits.
Easily.
No problem. 120 bucks, 115 bucks, 150 bucks, 90 bucks, et cetera, et cetera. But because Clerget, he doesn't really care about America, I think he's got a pretty good business at home. And I think he sells a lot of wine locally and the tourists there and that sort of deal. And so basically, these wines come to you at about a third of that price. So without sounding like, hey, buy it now, these are pretty crazy. I mean, we're talking about 35 bucks for 12-year-old Santino, 40 bucks, like 39 bucks for 12-year-old Cellaring.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how much is the bone?
30 bucks.
The bone's 30 bucks. So you're paying less.
That's crazy.
We bought a bit of these. Really special wines. We're totally enjoying these right now. If this was a stinker, we'd be making the gas face. The fact of the matter is, I don't know about you, I'm having a grand old time drinking this right now.
You just need to order in some, you know, Maigret de Canard or, you know, some...
I would have this with popcorn. I would have this with... I had that on my own, which I'm doing right now. So yeah, take a shot at these 2001 Clerget wines. These are really outstanding, and the more we drink them,
Just
the fresher
delicious.
they get, and the better they get.
And the sad thing is once they are gone, they're gone.
No loss.
And as many of you know, when you have 6 bottles in your cellar, and it goes down to 1, and it's done. It's done.
Don't let it be done.
Don't let it be done.
Cheers.